What's up?
What up, though, y'all?
What's going on, everybody?
It's Tuesday night. Y'all know what we do on Tuesdays. We kick them Crittendens.
Kicking it with them Crittendens.
We are here.
Man, look, y'all. I think I came on a little earlier and told y'all I had a flat tire on I-75. Man, I was really upset because it was like kind of like a blowout. And I'm driving and I'm hearing this noise and I'm driving by like 3 or 4 semis and I'm like, man, them doggone semis loud. And all of a sudden, bloop, 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 bloop. Man, I had to pull over and call somebody because if I didn't, I'd have been waiting on AAA all day and on. I'd probably still be there waiting on AAA. So, you know, we got that tire down, jacked that boy up. I was out of there, man. So I could be home, to be on time, to be on live. But guess what? To really be by my baby. Hey. What up, boo?
Hey, y'all. We back. As y'all come in, say something to us.
Say something.
Like, tag, share, all of the things. Y'all know we don't be long, but we be strong. My Shelly is here. Hey, Shelly.
Hey, Shelly.
Happy Tuesday, y'all.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. If y'all don't mind, like and share, tag somebody.
Please like and share.
Hope everybody's had an amazing day today. A great start to the week.
Yes.
It's been a long day, but all is well.
All is well.
We're going to talk about some effective communication tonight. So, we are here. We're going to get started. We're going to give people just a few more minutes to jump on. But, Shelly, thank you so much for being here. We need to do something with the Williams, man. Her husband be over there chefing it up.
Where?
At their house. They got that black top thing. We want the, what is it called? The,
griddle? Not a griddle. I know what you're talking about. When we seen one at Costco or wherever we were. Yep. That thing, yeah.
Yeah. We doing that thing over there.
Well, we need to come holler at y'all so we can do that.
Yes. Like, tag, share. Pastor Drew. Good evening, sir.
Pastor Drew, what's going on?
Tag y'all married friends. Tag y'all engaged friends. Tag y'all people that's dating.
Yes.
This is for everybody.
Everybody.
You get ahead of the game.
You don't have to worry about losing in the game.
That's right.
You get ahead of the game.
That's right.
Not only that, but you know how to play the game.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's really all about, knowing how to play the game. Mm-hmm. So both of y'all win, not just one person, but you got 2 winners.
Two winners.
Two winners. 1 heart.
2 goals.
Dead.
No.
What?
2 hearts, 1 goal. You said it wrong.
Oh, my bad. My bad. And I'm looking at you like you was wrong.
Confidently wrong. That's crazy.
Effective communication. I shut down so she could tell me I was wrong. It's all good.
Jesus.
It's all good.
It's been a long day, y'all. But we here. So, look, we're going to go on and get started. We're going to jump on in here. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We are your favorite coaches, your favorite couple, them Crittendens, the Dream Team. 2 hearts, 1 goal. And we just want to come on and kick it with y'all every week to just share some nuggets.
Yes.
Share some nuggets. And
before we start, I want to apologize for last Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't pop on last Tuesday. I'm going to tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
The only reason why is because my baby had a sty.
I did.
And her eye was a little big. And she's like, baby, I ain't going on. I want to see my eye.
I looked real crazy and I wasn't getting on
But what I told her, I said, baby, everybody gets styes. You know, ain't no big deal. You know, let's just go on. We got to keep moving.
We back, though.
Yeah, we back.
We back.
I don't care if
ladies understand.
If I got a black eye, I'm coming on, y'all. My head swole, I'm coming on, y'all.
Anyway, hey, y'all, effective communication. Let's dig in. So, we all know that one of the major things that impact any relationship, not just a marriage, any relationship, is communication.
Communication is key.
Because communication is not just talking and listening. It's comprehension. Right?
Absolutely.
When you don't understand what's being said, when you misinterpret what's being said, when you call off and think you know what you know and without having a conversation, a lot of things happen. Things go wrong. relationships, y'all destroy all of the things, right? And the Bible even tells us in all of our getting to get what? An understanding. And so oftentimes when we are in relationships, especially marriage, we equate everything as being a problem, right? We think that the marriage is bad. We think that, oh, the finances is the issue. We think that the sex is the issue. But the common denominator in all of that is communication. It is. Somewhere along the lines, the communication fell short. Somewhere along the lines, somebody was misunderstood. Somebody felt undervalued. Somebody heard something and they took it the wrong way. Somebody said something the wrong way. And so when all of those things happen and we don't know what to do when we are in those spaces, then it leads to arguing. It leads to separation. It leads to distance being in a relationship. And then before you know it, people are entertaining the idea of divorce when all you need is some tools. But the only way to even get to the tools is to understand that you need them, and then to understand how to use them, because it's not enough just to have tools. You can have a whole toolbox. And I'm gonna be honest, we got tools around here and it ain't many of them that I know what to do with, and I don't care to know what to do with them because I got a husband, right? But realistically, if I ever needed to use them and I didn't ask to get the right information to know what to do with it, I could cause more harm and make damages worse by trying to do a good thing, right? And so that's why we're here tonight. We just kind of want to give y'all a few little nuggets and just really kick it with y'all. And we want y'all to drop some questions and comments in the chat so that we can hear what you have to say and hear maybe your struggle areas. And if it's something that you don't want to put online, it's fine. Inbox us. That's cool too. However, we want to be engaging in this because what we find is oftentimes marriages struggle silently, right? But then when people come and sit in front of us or we go sit in front of other people, we realize we really are struggling with the same thing.
Yes. That's very true. That's very true.
Nobody's an expert at this.
Nobody.
We're all still learning. We're never perfected, but we can always get better if we know more, right?
Period.
So, you have something to say, babe?
Only thing I was gonna say is you gotta in the
Pastor Carruthers, good evening, sir.
Now see, we're communicating, and you just interrupted me.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. Look, we need to be clear. So you know when we're speaking. The other party can understand without any confusion. Because a lot of times you can be so hyped and so ready to get your message out that you cause confusion because you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You gotta be very clear when you're speaking to your spouse or your mate or your significant other. You gotta be very clear so there's no confusion. Not only that, but listening. You gotta listen. You gotta listen to what they're saying because I'll use me for an example. I used to listen, but I was listening with always
ready to defend.
Man, I was so ready to defend myself.
Don't do that because you're gonna make people think you be hitting on them.
I was always ready to defend myself. So I had a wall of defense up, you know, and I really couldn't listen clearly because that's all I heard was defend yourself, defend yourself. She's attacking you. We got to be very conscious of that.
But you were also hearing hurt. You were also hearing disappointment, and those things.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you hadn't had a chance to deal with that, and we all do that, right? We all do that, and if we're not careful, we'll become verbal assassins in our relationship.
Yes.
We will become verbal assassins. The Bible says it this way: life and death are in the power of the tongue, and those that love it will eat the fruit thereof, right? And so we have to remember that when we're talking to each other, right? We just can't apply that to, oh, I rebuke that because such and such said this about me, or the doctor gave me this diagnosis. Yes, it applies there too. However, we can't self-destruct what God gave us. We can't self-destruct the person that God gave us to pour into and to help, encourage, and all of that. The Bible says speak the truth in love.
Right.
Now, I'm not telling you to validate everything for the sake of feelings. No, right? But you also cannot be a verbal assassin, because when you do that, this is what we tell couples. You're responsible to fix anything that you break. If you tear it down, you gotta fix it. You don't have the right to say what you want to say, how you want to say it, and feel like they're just supposed to take it. They're not animals that's just getting the crumbs. No, they deserve the best part of you, even in communication, right? And so when we're communicating, right, we communicate with words. We communicate with our bodies. We communicate with our tones, all of the things, right? Sometimes we don't realize that. And so my husband had to tell me, he was like...
nonverbal calls then.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nonverbal. But you had to teach me that, because he'll be saying something to me and I'm just sitting there and he like, just forget. I'm like, what you talking about? You talking with your body. I'm like, I ain't even did it. Yeah, it's the way you sitting, it's the way you looking, it's the way your face ball.
And I don't want to say this, but it's true. Most women do that.
We all do it. It's not gender specific. We all do it.
But what I want to say is most women talk with their body language. Men, we say what we got to say and we pretty much done. Most men, we say what we got to say and then we're pretty much done.
That's true.
Women, that's telling me something.
That is true.
You follow what I'm saying?
That's real true.
And
that's very true.
Yeah, so you got to be careful with that body language.
We do, because words is 7%.
There it is.
Words is 7% of our communication.
Right there.
Tone is 23% of our communication.
Yes.
But the face and the body is 70%
right
of
there.
what we say. So we say a whole lot more than what we think we're saying without even opening our mouth.
Right.
And we can kill a whole conversation. We can kill a whole mood without opening our mouth. We can shut our husbands down, wives, without even opening our mouth. We got to be careful. And now we can do this to each other, but to your point, women, we're a little more hightail when it comes to that, because we gonna toot our lips up, we gonna roll our eyes, we gonna roll our necks, we gonna do all of the things. But
why is that though? And I'm glad you said it, because now I get to ask the question and get a answer, probably not just from you but others. If you want to chime in, and
please do.
Please. But why do women do that?
Because it's a way that because honestly, sometimes I feel like it's the only way you really understand what we're trying to say.
But why is
because if you see my body language will sometimes get your attention faster than you can shut my words down. Right? You can ignore my words. You can downplay my words. But my facial expressions, my disdain, my posture towards you, it's going to speak real loud, because in that you're not getting from me the response that you want. Now, my words can tear you down too. But if I sit here and I just turn my back to you, you're going to feel disrespected.
Very true. But if I'm a good listener, right? Because good communication involves good listening. And if I'm a good listener and I hear what you're saying and I respond the way that I need to respond, why is it that you still give me the body language that you're giving me? And
I might not be the good communicator though.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That could perhaps be my weakness.
Okay, that's good.
And so if I'm still dealing with something, or if I'm working on something, or if something you say triggers me, not that my triggers are your responsibility. Right. We have to understand that, y'all. Our spouses are not responsible for our triggers. Right. That's our responsibility.
Absolutely.
However, in my response to that, my body language do some stuff. Right? And if I'm not careful, I can shut you down when you're trying to convey to me what you feel like I'm saying, when you're trying to express to me that you understand my heart. But if I don't understand or get a grip on my emotions and me being emotionally immature, then my body language gonna always give off something that my mouth or my heart is not even saying. They could be saying two different things.
Good. I'm glad you said that, because this and I was gonna go there, and I'm glad you went there first. But I was going to say, what I believe it is emotional immaturity. When you got to give me all that body language and all this, I believe that that's emotional immaturity because you don't really know how to respond.
That's not always true. That's not always true. Sometimes on the flip side of that, my body is saying something a little softer than what my words gonna say. Because sometimes my body may speak a little softer than my words. Because sometimes, and you know this, and I think we all deal with this to some degree, your words can cut. And you've had to teach me how to communicate, because there was a time I didn't care what I said. Now, I never just dogged you or nothing like that, because you ain't that type of dude. I'm not that type of woman. However, there was a time that I didn't really filter what I had to say. I said it and it was just that, right? So sometimes in the process of me trying to catch myself, my body may say something that's a little softer. Not saying that it's right, that my words wouldn't have said, and it would have cut a little bit different. I think we got some responses on here though.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you said that, because that's very powerful. Let me say that, because when we began our relationship, you came from a relationship, and the way that y'all communicated was at each other.
Say whatever.
Right. And it was all hurtful because both of y'all had trauma issues that y'all never dealt with. And then when me and you came together, I had trauma issues, you had trauma issues, but my issues as it related to communication, I needed you to talk to me because I came from the rah-rah, and I didn't want that no more. So what I needed was for you to talk to me so we can handle what needed to be handled. But we were still in a difficult place because we both had trauma that we didn't deal with. But as I started to go to therapy and deal with my emotional immaturity, that's when I began to be able to communicate effectively.
Yeah, and that's great. But here's the other thing we had to learn too. Men and women communicate differently.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
We hear different, we respond different, right? So we also had to learn that. Like for most men, they straight to the point.
Bingo.
For us,
there it is, right there.
We need you to know
step
from A
step,
to B to
step
Z
by step.
how we even got here.
Yes.
Right? Y'all are naturally fixers. Right? So it's like, okay, what is it? How I fix it? What I do? Right?
That's
us,
it.
it's like, okay, I'm glad you want to fix it. However, let me let you know how we got here so you don't always have to fix it.
So how do we meet in the middle instead of, because you like to go from A to Z. I like to go from, you like to go from A, B, C, D, E.
All the way through.
I go from A to Z. You go from A to B to C to D, right?
Right.
So how do we meet in the middle where we can communicate effectively instead of you going all the way around the block and me just going across the alley?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
because this is the thing. Most men, we get, oh my God. You know?
That's body language. Though.
I know, but we'll do this.
And
right?
that's the same as us doing all of this. It's the same
But
thing.
this is the only thing we'll do.
But it's the same thing. So the eye rolling and the lip flipping and all of that is equivalent to that. It's sending the same message.
True that. But how do we
It's true.
How do we get to a effective communication between the two of us where we can just meet in the middle, have a brief conversation, and be done with it? Because see, y'all don't want it brief. Y'all want the whole thing. We just want some. Look, this is what happened. This is why I did it. Bam. Okay.
But with understanding, it takes that sometimes. Now, I'm not saying that every single time something happened, we got to have this long, drawn-out discussion, right?
But it's true, we do.
Don't
it's true, we do.
Okay, but
so how do
but
we?
to answer your question, you can't cut that out because that's how I communicate. So if
but
that's
now
the
you
way,
heard what you said.
Listen,
you said that's how you communicate.
Right.
So now you're not thinking about me. You're thinking about you.
Let me finish and tell you where I'm going with it. So if that's the way I communicate, if you understand that about me, then what you have to do is you have to ask God to give you the patience to deal with how I communicate. Just like I have to ask God to give me the patience to understand how you communicate. And over time, as we grow in those things, and I realize I don't even have to say that. Okay. I learn your heart, and I realize he didn't mean that. Or I mature to a place where I can think through some stuff and process it and not take everything you said personally. Because sometimes a lot of what we trying to talk about is emotional stuff. It's not even really what the message sent was not message received, because sometimes we're hearing from a place of hurt. Right? And so as we learn how to communicate, it doesn't necessarily mean that I will change how I communicate in terms of how I get from point A to point Z, right? My tone will change. I'll acknowledge that my body language should be different. I'll acknowledge that I shouldn't be disrespectful. But if my way of getting it off my chest is going through the details, that should be okay with you. Whereas when you communicate with me, although you may not take as long to say what you need to say, I can still ask you questions. You don't have to use as many words to say what you want, but I can still question what I can ask you. So what do you mean? Is this what you're saying?
So you
I'm gonna just tell you.
So you asking the question is still gonna take me the long way.
It's no, because but you're not coming out the long way.
But this is what I'm saying. But I'm still in conversation with you, and if I'm still in conversation, we still going down the block, around the corner, back around. So I just want to go from A to Z. I want to tell you, this is the reason I did it. It won't happen no more. Or this is the reason I did it. And that's that. You know what I'm saying? Why do we have to go in full-blown conversation?
Because we need understanding.
But the
Who wrote the song, y'all? Escape What I Need From You and Understanding? That's why.
I'm giving you understanding.
You're giving me your version of understanding.
Okay, so now what you said earlier, was we got to ask God, right? Let me get an understanding from you. Let me just be, let me just hear you. Okay, this is what you mean? Okay, cool. I got it.
And that works sometimes, but that doesn't always work.
Baby, when has that ever worked?
Sometimes it works.
Please tell the truth. Look at the camera and tell the truth.
It works sometimes. Let me see.
Now you see how fast you look down.
No, but that's true though. Seriously, it's as we grow together, we can use discernment for what issues need a detailed convo and what can be brief. Absolutely, because that's my niece, Paris. What I need from you is understanding. It's true though, and that's
Paris. Stop it.
Sometimes we don't have to go the long way, but sometimes because here's the thing. And this is bringing it back in all seriousness, y'all. Sometimes the longer conversations are needed so that resentment doesn't build up, so that bitterness doesn't sit there, so that offense doesn't go.
I agree.
Because
I agree 100%.
I'm not asking you to take the long way, right? But if I need more, be okay with me needing more, because the more that I know, the better I know how to love you, the better I know how to communicate with you, right? And so it also gives me an opportunity to work on me, because now I can ask myself, why did I hear it that way? Why did I receive it that way? You know what I'm saying? And so it's not always about you. It's not always that you've done or said anything wrong sometimes. But if we understand how to communicate and understand the difference in how each other communicates, then it gives us a better opportunity to hear what's being said, to process what's being said, and how to move forward next time. And so we spend less time having to fix stuff and apologize for stuff, and we can continue moving forward. That's one less thing we ain't got to worry about.
And that's good, and I'm glad you said that. Now, I'm going to say this. We have a thing that we do, right? That's right. And this is, we take a bath, and we let it all out. That's a safe space for us, right? We talk about whatever we need to talk about. So to me, that's the long way. That's me being patient. That's me listening. That's me saying this is why, and that's why, and this is the reason, right? So now, when we're not in that safe space and we're in another space that's safe as well, why can't it just be, this is the reason why? I'm done.
Whatever.
What? I'm asking because you got to understand that we need that space that just say, this is the reason why I did it, baby. That's the reason why I did it.
But here's the thing, we're different, right? And so the beautiful thing about that is we can maximize our differences, right? Okay. It doesn't have to be a problem. It doesn't have to mean that it's wrong. You may not particularly care for me taking the long way sometimes, and just like I may not always appreciate you giving me a short 4-5 word answer, right? However, we can maximize those differences. Sometimes it's about timing, right? Have I even considered the timing that we had this conversation? Because here's the thing, men don't use as many words in a day. They use up all their words most of the time before they even get home.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And so we can continue to talk, right? Now, with me and you, you've always been more of the talker. So it's easier for me to shut down than it is for you to shut down. But when I open up and talk, I want to talk, right? And I've learned how to not shut down the way that I used to. I ain't mastered it, but I also don't walk around here for a week at a time and don't have anything to say.
Man, that used to burn me up.
It did,
a
right?
week at a time,
but that was
not saying anything. But I would always tell you, like, baby, you can talk to me. You can talk to me. Just tell me what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't talk, we won't understand each other. You know, and I would always say, you always need to tell me what's wrong. So at least, you know, I can think about it and do better the next time.
And I'm glad you brought that up. You said always tell you what's wrong. But sometimes in communication, if I'm reluctant to tell you what's wrong, that could mean that I don't feel comfortable with telling you my emotions because I don't feel like they safe. I feel like you may not respond. I'm not saying that you always do this, but we've gone through this where you didn't quite handle my emotions well, and sometimes I didn't handle yours well. So out of reluctancy or feeling rejected or feeling like you gonna blow me off, I won't say anything. So we had to grow to even have a safe space to be able to go the long way with stuff. And that's all a part of communication, because again, if you blow me off, I don't have nothing to say. That's the equivalent of you doing this, or that's the equivalent of you talking to me and me rolling my eyes. You don't feel like I care about what you're saying. So now either you're going to do one or two things. You're going to shut down, or you're going to get even more upset because you don't feel like I care.
I understand that, but it's all about timing too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about timing. You just can't come in and just be like, blah, 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 blah,
right.
You know, and I
Right.
had a rough day. I really don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Let me come in, ask me how my day has been.
Absolutely.
Kiss me, love me, hold me, let me wind down, let me get, you know, comfortable. And then I think then you, hey, sweetheart, listen, I just want to talk to you about something that's been on my heart. Now I'm open because it's on your heart. So that means something, right? But if you just, man, I just want to tell you because I'm shutting down.
Absolutely. Now you defensive. I put you in a corner.
Absolutely.
And then you gonna come out swinging because I've done it. But we had to learn it. We had to learn that timing is everything. Timing is everything. Because how you respond to me or how I respond to you, if I'm overwhelmed or if I'm frustrated, it's gonna be completely different. Than if you wait or I wait till we relax. Paris said, that's smart. Hard to be mad while taking a bath. Very vulnerable. Yeah, and so we came up with that because we needed a safe space. And so the agreement with the safe space was, whatever we talk about here, it has to stay there. We fix it here. We end it here. That's it.
And whatever
no judgment.
And whatever needs to be done with, it goes down the drain.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
And whatever that safe space is for y'all. A couple weeks ago, we took a ride and we just drove and we had a long talk. And this is what we say. We always suggest talking about something in bed is not always the place.
Nope.
Talking about something in the house sometimes is not always good. Sometimes you need a change of environment because it helps alter your mood. Yes, it helps you be able to process just a little bit different, because sometimes when we at home, we feel like I'm at home, I'm gonna say what I want to say. You ain't got no boundaries. That can be dangerous, right? And so we have to be mindful that timing is everything too. Tone, body language, all of it plays a big role. But no matter what, if there is no understanding, at the end of the conversation, you've done nothing but made a bunch of noise.
Not just understanding, but empathy.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Empathy.
You gotta have empathy.
Absolutely.
You know that is very key. You know, respecting each other emotions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta respect my emotions. I gotta respect your emotions. You know, I tell my wife this, and I tell my kids this. You know, you can't take away from me how I feel.
Absolutely.
You can't do that, and don't try. But I also tell them, and I can't take away the way you feel, because how you feel is how you feel, and I gotta respect how you feel. You're your own person. I'm my own person.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's very important in communication.
But my job in that is to understand your emotions.
Yeah.
Because even in communicating, sometimes, and as a wife, especially a praying wife, and you ask the Lord to give you discernment, you can help your husband see where some of the things is coming from. Because sometimes, and this goes both ways, but I'm specifically talking to wives, because when we ask God to give us discernment, he will allow us to be able to see some things, and we can be able to communicate some things to our husbands, because we have a way of touching their hearts and getting through to them that other people can't. This is another reason why we have to be careful with what we say and how we say it, because there's nobody else that can damage him like me. There's nobody else that can penetrate his heart the way that I can. There's nobody else that's going to even be able to get close enough to him to ruin him in ways that I could. And so we have to be mindful of what we say. I don't care how bad it hurt. I don't care how angry you may feel. You have to be careful how you say what you say. And in full transparency, we had a conversation last weekend, and I shared some things with him, and he felt as though I attacked him. And that was not my intent. It was not my intent, right? But what point am I making by saying that? No matter how honest you try to be, and I apologize to him, because that was not my intent. However, y'all know people say, bless your heart. You know why they say that? Because they know your intentions were good, but that doesn't mean that it changed the effect of how it made somebody else feel. It doesn't mean that it lessened the damage. It does not mean that. And so now you got to be on damage control. Now you got to be doing all of this other stuff. When if you pause and really process, and I say this too, think about yourself. I think if we as people would pause sometimes and think about what we say before we say it, and how would we feel if it was said to us, there are a lot of things we wouldn't say. There are a lot of word choices we wouldn't have. But we get so caught up in ourselves. We get so caught up in our emotions. We get so caught up in feeling like I'm just me and I'm going to say what I want to say. And then it just come out. That is not okay. That is not okay. It is not an excuse because your mama hurt you, because your daddy hurt you, because that's not an excuse to be rude, indifferent, misleading, none of those things. That is not okay. Go get some help. Go get some therapy. Go heal yourself. Because what you tear down, you are responsible for fixing.
Build it back up.
You have to.
Yeah.
So do the work and understand, in your communicating, be cognizant of your tone. Be cognizant of your body language. If you know you in a funk, it's okay to table something. It's okay to say, baby, I do want to hear what you have to say, but give me a moment to get myself together. Because if you understand the funk that you in, you 100% responsible for what you say, and you can't sit there and say, I didn't mean it, because you knew the headspace going in. Table it.
But I think that comes, again, and I know I keep saying it, but it's truth. It comes with emotional immaturity, because when I realized that, you know, and it wasn't that long ago, when I realized that I was emotionally immature, it came from trauma, right? But I kept you at a distance. I kept you at a distance because I was hurt, you know, and I didn't want to be hurt no more. Bitterness was in me, so I didn't have peace. You know what I'm saying? Bitterness was there, so I couldn't really, you know, receive. You know, bitterness was there, so unforgiveness was standing at the door trying to knock, like, let me in, let me help you, right? But as I start, again, going to therapy and understanding that, you know what, wait a minute. I'm emotionally immature, you know, and I found this out on my own. So I started to deal with it, you know, and I started asking God to help me through it so I can be better, right? And what it did, it opened up the door for me to allow forgiveness to come in.
Absolutely.
So bitterness can leave out, right? And that peace can come in, you know, and now I can take down the wall. Now I can take down the fence. Now I can take down my arm and say, okay, come in because you didn't do this to me.
That's good.
You know, I can allow you to come in and have a conversation. And that opened the door for me and you to communicate even better now. You know what I'm saying? I love talking to you now. I love just pillow talking. You know, I love being in the bath and just talking. I get something out of every conversation. So
that's because you're hearing with a different ear.
Absolutely.
And that's a great point
thing.
because when you hurt, when we're offended, everything somebody say is wrong.
Ooh,
you hear everything with the ear of offense when you got bitterness, when you harbor unforgiveness. And it doesn't always mean, you will think that people are trying to attack you when they're really trying to hurt you because you hear them with an offended ear.
Right.
Right? You cannot heal what you don't acknowledge. And you cannot move past what you don't deal with.
That's good.
Right? So all of this is a part of forgiveness. I mean, I'm sorry, communication, because when you don't forgive, you will shut down. When you don't forgive, you don't hear right. When you don't forgive, you don't speak right. When you don't forgive, you don't even love right.
Come on.
So nobody's getting an authentic version of each other in the marriage because everything is built off of this wall of offense. And I'm going to end here, y'all, and we're going to be done. I know y'all remember this show. Most of y'all should anyway. I think it was called Home Improvement, where the guy used to be looking over the wall, but you could never see his eyes. All you could see was his eyes. You could never see anything else. This is what happens in relationships when we don't heal ourselves. This is what happens when we don't become whole. This is what happens when we don't learn how to communicate and deal with the things. We're always behind this wall. Right? But if you also remember in that same show, that man never came over that wall and nobody ever came over on the other side of him. So everybody in his world was trapped on one side and he was trapped on the other side. So what quality of life is that? Right? We can't be, the Bible tells us to guard our hearts, not build fences around them, not build walls around them, right? And so in that, we have to make sure that we are dealing with our emotions, we dealing with the hurt, we shutting down everything that the enemy would try to use to be divisive between us so that we can hear with a clear conscience, we can hear with the open heart, we can hear with the open mind, and then we can communicate from a place of love.
That's good. That's good.
So that's all we got for tonight.
That's it, y'all.
I hope y'all got something good. I hope if it helped y'all that you all would share, that you all would like.
I know we're going to talk about next time.
What?
I know we're going to talk about next time.
What?
Why do women always think they right?
We about to end right.
Bruh, that's going to be a good conversation. Why do women always think they are right? I don't care what woman it is, what relationship you go to. I talk to men all the time. Barbershop talk. Man, she always thinks she right. I hear that from every man. And I want to know why do women feel that they are always right? Brothers, if you out there, chime in. Help me out now. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? We got to have some deep conversations. So do you want to hear about this? Is that something that you all want to talk about and discuss in the next session?
And y'all drop us some stuff that y'all want to talk about. But before we end, we just want to let y'all know, people have been asking. It's been a long time coming.
Yes.
We're going to post a flyer after this. We are doing our first of many to come, a weekend with the Crittendens. And it's going to be a marriage enrichment where we're going to talk about all things relationships. We're going to have some great people there that's going to help teach with us.
It's going to be live.
We're going to have a commitment ceremony.
It's going to be dope.
It's going to be the weekend of Sweetest Day, y'all. So lock that in. The flyer is coming.
Yes.
All the details will follow, but
you got plenty of time.
Make sure it's the weekend of Sweetest Day, October 17th through the 19th. Details will follow, but we want to put that out there right now. It's been a long time coming.
And what I don't want y'all to say is, hey man, we going to them Crittenden's weekend retreat. It's not a retreat.
Retreat is going
it's
backwards.
a marriage advancement.
That's right.
We do marriage advancements, y'all.
Retreat,
so this is
going backwards.
We ain't going back.
We straight ahead.
We're not going back.
Ahead.
So yeah, man, lock and load. Come on, y'all. Come on out and kick it with them Crittendens. We're going to have a great time. We're going to enjoy one another. We're going to get some tools that we're able to use, you know, for our marriage and get better, you know. We're going to get better. We're going to
you welcome, niece.
Our mentor said something in his sermon. He said, man, you know, you want to be the judge, but you still a criminal. Man, that was so dope.
That's true.
Oh my God, that was so dope.
We're gonna talk about that with
yes.
the
Oh my God.
Now let that go.
Woo!
But the fellas,
That's
they
the topic,
chiming
y'all.
in. But like my good sis said, cause we are, but we gonna leave it alone. We'll talk about that next week.
Oh, see,
we'll talk
already.
about that next week.
My fellas didn't.
They did. They did.
Okay.
They said they
All
want
right.
to talk about it. They talking about preach, bro.
It's going down, y'all. Going down.
We love y'all. We
Yes.
love y'all. Thanks for rocking with us.
Yes.
Please like, share all of the things. The flyer will follow. Please share it. Please lock it in. Save the date, October 17th through the 19th. That is Sweetest Day weekend.
Yes.
So don't go buy no concert tickets. We got
Please.
y'all for Sweetest Day weekend.
Come on, y'all.
Y'all rock with us Sweetest Day weekend. All right.
Rock
so
with
we
us.
love y'all. Kiss your husband. Kiss your wife. Go make some good love. Don't forget to pray tonight. Until next time, 2 hearts, 1 goal. Peace.
Peace. Woo! I love it, y'all.